Week 5 of the fantasy football season, and here's a few wide receivers I have as sleepers this week. The first receiver, Trey Tucker of the Vegas Raiders. Now with Devontae Adams banged up with the hamstring and most likely getting traded, is Devontae Adams. Trey Tucker is going to step into a starting role, I believe, for this Vegas Raider team, and we've seen some flashes from him already this season. Week 3 versus Carolina, 7 catches, 96 yards, and a touchdown. In Week 4 versus Cleveland, found the end zone once again on a goal line rush for 3 yards and 5 catches, 41 yards on 6 targets. A Tucker, pretty decent wide out, a guy that could use in many roles in this offense. And like I said, if Adams don't want to be there, you trade him off, get a second or third rounder in a deal for him, and Trey Tucker steps in to the starting lineup, and you'll see what he has right now available in 87% of fantasy leagues. And like I said, coming off of 2 nice ball games for Trey Tucker, definitely someone who'll be on the radar as a top pickup if a trade goes through sooner than later. And also if he goes out there once again and has a nice performance. So this week, I know it's a tougher matchup at the Broncos, where they've been one of the better defenses in the league, especially the last 2 weeks, not giving up the 9 points in both ball games. Trey Tucker, week, he's still a sleeper option, but also a pickup as well, I believe, off the waiver wire. Next wide receiver, Jalen Tolbert of the Dallas Cowboys. Brandon Cooks, he's not going to play in this ball game where he's got a knee infection. And Tolbert, we've seen some flashes from him this season. Right now, available 95% of fantasy leagues. In the last few weeks, Week 2 versus New Orleans, 6 catches, 82 yards, 9 targets. Week 3 versus Baltimore, 3 catches, 42 yards, and a touchdown. Then last week at the Giants, 3 catches, 24 yards. So Jalen Tolbert's going to get more of an expanded role. Him and Dak Prescott definitely working on rapport. And he's a wide receiver that could work the seam and get vertical down the field next to CeeDee Lamb. So maybe what Cook's out, he could take advantage of Jalen Tolbert. And like I said, he's a talented wide receiver coming out of college. It hasn't translated to the NFL, even though this season we're starting to see some flashes from him. And it's interesting to see what he'll do with an expanded role on Sunday night at Pittsburgh. I know it's not the greatest of matchups, but with all the bye weeks and a lot of banged up players, I think Tolbert is a decent sleeper this week. And the third and final wide receiver I have as a sleeper is Juju-smith of the Kansas City Chiefs. Juju, he scored a touchdown a couple weeks ago. Now with Rashee Rice out, and obviously Hollywood Brown, he's been out all season. He's going to step into a role. And it wouldn't be surprising to me if he gets more targets in this ball game than an Xavier Worthy, where Juju's more of the traditional number 1 and 2 wide receiver, where Worthy's more of a speedy slot wide out. The way that they're going to use him most likely is this Kansas City Chiefs team. So like I said, Juju a few years ago resurrected his career, had a good season with Kansas City, then went to New England. It didn't work out there. They cut him loose, signed on with the Chiefs before the season started, and now he's going to get an expanded role. So going back to Week 3, it landed 2 catches, 17 yards, and a touchdown on 3 targets. So this week, tough matchup versus New Orleans, but reports are coming out he's going to get a usage boost, is Smith-Schuster, and rightfully so with Rashee Rice. So definitely someone as a sleeper option, available in 97% of fantasy leagues. That's a few wide receivers I have as sleepers for Week 3 of the fantasy football season.